We are Black Horse. We are Southwest.
Joey Gallo is a superhero with his baseball bat. Using phenomenal power, he launches baseballs high and far in every metropolis he's encountered.
Gallo, this ball smoked. High and deep. It's gone. A home run.
Stunning villains and seeking justice for his people. Now, a new villain approaches, and Joey's heroics are needed again.
And he hits his ball well. Out to right field. Willick upper deck. Gone!
Rangers baseball is presented by the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. Now we are in Anaheim tonight. First of 3 against the Angels as we begin this final road trip of the 2018 season. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I'm Dave Raymond alongside CJ Nikowski. Emily Jones will be alongside here momentarily. It is the final road trip of this 2018 season, and for a couple of individuals, there's still some numbers they might be shooting for.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday with Jeffrey Springs. He got his first big league win, and now there's some other guys that would like to reach some of these milestones. And we'll start off, first of all, with Adrian Sampson, who is starting tonight, and the idea of getting that first big league win. You'd love to join Jeffrey Springs in doing that. Back-to-back games. How about Mike Minor? He's got 12 wins. His career high is 13. And then Chu, of course, with his 21 home runs, a chance to try his career high. Nomar Mazar, he's gotten 20 in each of his 3 seasons. We'd love to see at least one more. And then Robinson Chirinos has tied his career high with 17 home runs. But the big man, Joey Gallo, is chasing something that is pretty special. We saw him last year hit 41 home runs. He had 80 RBIs. Well, he had a home run in yesterday's ball game, and that means now 39 to go along with those 91 RBIs. And the idea of back-to-back 40-run home run seasons for Joey Gallo, that would put him in some pretty exclusive company.
Well, the Angels have a couple of good players of their own in Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. I don't know if they need to be chasing anything, but we're putting them in the spotlight when we come back. Getting a little closer to the first pitch tonight. Rangers and Angels, the opening game of this 3-game series. And as we were going to break, we saw pictures of Ohtani and Trout, a couple of great ones for the Angels, and both guys maybe in contention for some postseason awards.
It's hard to believe, but Mike Trout once again is going to be in consideration for the American League MVP, and he's having another tremendous season with the bat. You see the OPS, the walks, those are best in the league. And now, in the case of Shohei Ohtani, this is a little bit more difficult to figure out because, of course, he has pitched and he has hit this well, and he's done both of those things extremely well. Now, the pitching ultimately ended up getting cut short, which will make this closer than it probably would have been had he remained healthy the entire year. But to think that he has 20 home runs, you see the 281 average batting average for him. He has just been absolutely killing it on both sides of the ball.
All right, well, we're just about set this great AL West rivalry on a gorgeous night here in Southern California. Lineups and first pitch coming up next. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. By the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Game 1 of 3 on tap here at the Big A between the Rangers and the Angels as we welcome you back to Anaheim on the final road trip of the season. This gets it going. We've got 6 more after this, but first things first, and that is the opener here tonight. And when you look at the Rangers starting lineup, that Southwest batting order, you see just where this youth movement is. Take out Shin-Soo Choo, who is 36 years of age. Everyone else 25 and younger. Don Wakamatsu said that's part of this rebuilding process to get these young guys as much of a look as possible down the stretch. But it really does speak to the fact that this youth movement is on in full force in Texas.
It certainly is, and it's fun to see, too. I think that's one of those things for Don Wakamatsu and the club as they continue to evaluate. When you have all of these young guys out there playing together, that is certainly something to keep an eye on. It's exciting, and the future is bright for the Texas Rangers. Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Felix Pena tonight, who will be starting for the Angels. It's a two-seam fastball 47% of the time. The slider, the four-seamer, an occasional changeup, but the slider is the pitch to keep an eye on tonight. It has been a very good one for Pena. 58% of his strikeouts this season have come on that slider.
All right, so he is set to go, and so are we. The old man, Shin-Soo Choo, steps in there, and he takes ball 1 high.
I like how Emily just kind of wanted to almost eliminate him from the...
Yeah.
Just get rid of Choo.
Remove
He's
Choo.
out.
Wow, hey. Slow down. Just kidding. Choo hammers this ball out to right field. The right to Calhoun, and there is one away.
Let's take a look at the Angels defense, which is sponsored by Jack in the Box, and you'll see in that outfield for the Angels, it's Hermosillo, Trout, and Cole Calhoun. And in the infield for Mike Sosa's club, you got Taylor Ward, Caleb Cowart, Jose Fernandez, Jeffrey Marte, and Francisco Arcias doing the catching.
Well, Pena gets a quick first out, and Odor does a little gardening. Gets that batter's box to his liking. Pena 3 wins, 5 losses, a 420 earned run average. And he misses outside to Rugi. The Rangers going with 3 straight lefties at the top of the order. Then the switch hitter Profar, and then 2 more lefties. Now, not only a young lineup from top to bottom, but a very heavily left-handed hitting lineup. And now the count 1-1 to Rugi.
A part of that, I think, is giving a couple of the veterans a day off after the travel from last night, Adrian Beltre and Elvis Andrus. But the other part of that is when you look at the splits for Pena, 284 against lefties.
Out to left field, Hermosillo backpedaling, and he'll make the catch, 2 away.
And 222 against righties. So he has been much better against right-handed hitters so far here with the Angels. So it does make some sense. If you're going to give young guys an opportunity to bring some of those lefties off the bench, this is the right pitcher to do it against.
And I think their bullpen, they're fairly well lacking in left-handed relievers. So it's not as if, a lot of times you worry about a team coming in critical moments at the end of a game and being able to eliminate some of your good hitters with a good, let's say, left on left or right on right matchup. So you're trying to split them up a little bit. But if a team doesn't have much in the way of left-handed relief to throw at you, then there's no concern there.
Yeah, just 2 of the 15 relievers in Mike Sosa's bullpen are left-handed.
Mazzara hits one on the ground to second base. And that'll make for a quiet top of the first inning. Fernandez takes care of business, and so does Felix Pena. So now Adrian Sampson out there to go to work tonight on the mound as the Angels come to bat. Now the Angels come to bat. The Angels 75 and 81 coming into play today. 23.5 back. Their starting lineup today will be right fielder Cole Calhoun starting it off. Mike Trout in center field bats second. Shohei Ohtani will be the DH batting third. Jose Fernandez, Jeffrey Marte, and Fernando Arcia in the middle of the order. Hermosillo, Cowart, and Taylor Ward at third base rounded out for the Angels. So Sampson, no wins, 2 losses, a 4.09 earned run average, and this is his third start of the year. First pitch swinging. Calhoun sends this one high in the air out to left center field. Long run for Willie Calhoun, but he'll take care of it. One away.
We love the Calhoun to Calhoun put out to start things off. Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Adrian Sampson, which is brought to you by Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. Two-seam fastballs 56% of the time. You'll see a slider, you'll see a changeup. Every once in a while, you will see the curveball as well from Adrian. But the name of the game is that two-seam fastball and keeping the ball on the ground. He's got a 51% ground ball rate so far with his brief time in a Ranger uniform, but that 51% would put him about 7% above league average. Not a big swing and miss guy. The goal is to use that good two-seam fastball and keep the ball on the ground, which makes this an interesting matchup. And Mike Trout is always a tough out, but he is such a good low ball hitter. And two-seam fastballs, you generally want those in the bottom of the zone. So for Adrian, he'll probably have to mix up that game plan a little bit. This is one of those times you go away from your strengths and you adjust to a hitter that is this good.
Well, the 1-1 taken a little bit inside. 2 balls and a strike on Trout.
You can tell already just by looking at the way that Isaiah Kiner-Falefa has set up. And they're trying to use that two-seam fastball, but use it up and in so far. Now we'll try to go down and away.
Well, did he hold up the swing? He did not. They check in with first base umpire Pat Oberg, and here rings him up. 2-2 the count.
Take a look at this from the side, and Mike Trout saw that spin and probably thought that ball was going to be middle, but it actually backed up and worked in the favor of Adrian Sampson.
So the righty's pitch, and that is strike 3 called right at the top of the zone. Trout down looking. That's a tough at bat for Mike Trout.
Well, that's a perfectly placed pitch against Mike Trout. You have to elevate against him. He's so good away. Now his argument there was that one was above the zone. It was pretty close, but you see the little sink at the end as that ball comes down. And for Mike Trout, reaction tells you how he felt about that pitch, but Sampson certainly will take it.
Now he was very close on the check swing, and then that one a borderline pitch, but 2 away, and here is Ohtani, and he is swinging away. That is a massive fly ball to right field and gone. My goodness gracious, Shohei Ohtani, his 21st home run of the year, and the Angels lead 1-0.
This guy really has been so incredibly impressive. The home runs, very Joey Gallo-like, right? Where he hits them high, and this pitch was elevated. Sampson may be thinking he get a first pitch strike, and he looks back home right away because he knew this ball was gone off the bat of Shohei Ohtani as he makes his run toward that Rookie of the Year. Man, that was impressive. I mean, it didn't go as far as Joey Gallo's home run here, though, but still the height of it.
Yeah.
They are majestic home runs.
Yeah, that was impressive. I want to get your attention a little bit.
I mean, I'm all about the apex. That's what I want to know. How was the apex on that homer? He hit it 428 feet. Gallo was, what, in the 460s on his, wasn't he?
This one lifted high in the air, but not going to get anywhere to right field, and Pizarro tucks it away. Ohtani scores the first run of the game, and that was a no-doubter. We go to the second, 1-0.
second here in Anaheim. StatCast AI is going to be powered by AWS. We show you the pitch first, that fastball that's sat middle in, and then the exit velocity, 113 miles an hour, 428 feet. The apex, if you're wondering, 146 feet in the air.
He hit it too high. If he hits out of the lower launch angle, I mean,
scoreboard.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
But Joey's was what, 469 here? Is that right? Does that sound familiar to you?
Or 490?
490.
Yeah, a little shy of 500.
I mean, kind of close.
No, you're right. I mean, both pretty impressive.
Gosh, I feel like it is way higher than 146 feet in the air.
But we've done this before,
yeah,
right?
It just throws you off. And I don't doubt that
it's
correct.
so hard.
Yeah. But I just think about when I look and say, okay, well, it's 90 feet from home plate to first base.
Hard one hopper out there to second base. Fernandez well positioned and Profar retired. Well, our WinStar World Casino and Resort leaderboard today. Joey Gallo, yeah, the longest home run he hit, it was here, 490 feet, and it was almost a year ago, just a little more.
It's one of my favorites because of where it landed, right? It just felt like he was driving a ball on the 18th green. It just stayed in the fairway, trickled perfectly. And as we mentioned at the time, Mark Gubiza, longtime Angels color analyst, looked over at us. We could see him clear as day and just mouth, wow.
Yeah.
And he had never seen a home run hit that far in this ballpark. He's been doing games here for better than a decade.
Yeah, and that was, immediately it conjured images of Bo Jackson and a ball he hit here, but it was certainly more impressive than that, and it was more impressive than the home run we just saw from Ohtani, which is saying something. And that is sort of how Gallo does it. Now he's got 39 home runs this year and 91 RBIs. With those 39 home runs, like 37 of those are jaw-dropping, impressive shots. I mean, he doesn't hit the cheapies.
No. No, he does not.
And here, 2-1. Trying to go back-to-back seasons with 40-plus homers. He needs one more. And that'll even the count, 2-2.
Good changeup from Pena. I mentioned the slider, and that's the pitch that certainly the Rangers are going to have to contend with. But because they are throwing so many lefties out there, that changeup will be really important. You just saw why. A good one located down and away off the fastball.
Full count. Pena was really quick through the order in the first inning. I think got Profar to ground out pretty quickly here in the second. So this is the first real extended at bat the Rangers have put on him in these early moments. Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss, strike three. So 2 gone, and that's the first strikeout of the night for Pena.
So the deal with Pena is he is a converted reliever. He had been a reliever throughout his career, had some time with the Chicago Cubs the last 2 years, and the Angels wanted to convert him to a starter. So at the minor league level, if you look at his numbers, see he pitched in 10 games, 9 of those were starts. You see what he did against the Rangers last time. But he only had 33 innings in those 9 starts. I went to look at the game logs, and it was like 2 innings, 3 innings. He went 4 2/3 in a game. They just weren't pushing him very hard at all. Now he's become, for the most part, a 5 or 6 inning pitcher, and so the Rangers, if they want to get to him, are going to have to do their damage early.
This one down the left field line, long run into that corner, and that one is gone. Guzman just kept it fair, his 16th home run of the year, and he's tied this game.
We're just talking about home runs that maybe barely get out, and we don't see it too often from Joey Gallo, but certainly Ronald Guzman will take it, because what do we notice about him over the homestand? Hitting some balls the other way, taking what is given. Here's a pitch that's away, up and away, just even off the plate, and the two-seam fastball, which Pena uses a lot of. Smart for a lefty to take this approach, as this thing just barely gets out, but it counts just as much as Ohtani's.
Now Kiner Falefa, who takes off the plate. Guzman, not only does he hit some home runs, he knows how to enjoy them. The rookie has found a way to really milk those things for some fun. Now a little grounder over to the right side of the infield, and the 3-1 putout will end the inning. Guzman getting the sneezes as well. 1-1 our scores. We go to the bottom of the second. On the Guzman homer. And you know, the final opening day at Globe Life Park next year will be Cubs and Rangers. And you can become a 2019 season ticket holder today. It guarantees your opening day tickets. Full and half season ticket plans are on sale now. Go to texasrangers.com/seasons.
So we did some milestones in our open, right? Talking about guys like Adrian Sampson trying to get that first big league win. Can Joey Gallo go back-to-back years of 40 home runs? Well, obviously Ronald Guzman is a rookie, and so he's setting all kinds of career highs in the big leagues because this is the first time he's done it. But that was home run number 16, which does tie the most home runs he's ever hit in a single season at any level in his career. So the fact that he's done that at the big leagues, and it's not that uncommon, at least not as much as you might think, but he did hit 16 home runs back in 2016 between AA and AAA. So from that standpoint, it is a career high in any single season in home runs, except these have been the best 16 home runs he's ever hit, because he's doing it in the big leagues.
1-1 pitch, and Sampson misses outside. It's also, for him, it's the most home runs he's hit for one team in a season, right? I mean, 15 that year at Frisco, 1 at Round Rock, so 16 home runs in his rookie year. What a great start for Guzman. And another pitch inside to Marte. It's 3-1.
And then we start to play that game, right? You and I have this conversation all the time. What does that look like over the course of a full season? Because it's only 410 plate appearances for Ronald Guzman. And if he were to become an everyday player, you're talking about maybe as many as 600 to 650 for him. So a couple of more 100 plate appearances. Is it safe to say that there's another 7 or 8 home runs in there? What does he project? Of course, there's the adjustment of second season in the big leagues, but you can get excited about what potentially could be. Is he a 25 to 30 home run guy per year? With the great defense, the good opposite field approach, you take that all day long.
This one in the dirt, and on the check swing, Marte will take the walk. Man on here in the second.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Willie Calhoun, Joey Gallo, and Nomar Mazara in the outfield tonight here in Anaheim. And in the infield, it's Jurickson Profar, Hanser Alberto, Rougned Odor, Ronald Guzman, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa behind the plate.
So lead man on here with the second. And Arcia swinging at the first pitch. High pop up. Out near second base. And Odor stays right with it. And that is out number 1. Here comes Michael Hermosillo, the left fielder for the Angels. I was looking at the Angels lineup today. And Emily pointed out earlier how the Rangers, with Chu up top, Chu being more than 10 years older than anybody else in the Rangers lineup.
Should remind him of that after the game.
I'm sure he'll love to hear it. I mean, it's pretty amazing. The Angels did a little something with their lineup today that I found kind of interesting. Yeah, you have Mike Trout in there. He has the highest on-base average of anybody in baseball. Shohei Ohtani's had a real nice year. He's at 364 with the on-base. Other than that, I don't believe they have anybody within 20 points of league average in on-base percentage.
Oh, wow.
Like, no one.
A lot of young players in there, right? No Andrelton Simmons, no Justin Upton. Of course, they lost out on Zach Cozart for the year as far as what their projected lineup was supposed to be.
Hermosillo swings and misses, the count 0-2. So the closest they have, Jose Fernandez, who's batting cleanup today, is on base is at 296 for the year. And that puts him 22 points shy of the Major League and, for that matter, the American League average for on base. And then you get to the point where you got guys like Caleb Coward, who's more than 100 points below league average. Count stays 0-2 on Hermosillo. So it's just interesting, a little side note for these Angels. An Angels club now with 81 losses. It looks as if they are bound for a losing season, and it would be what, their 3rd in a row. And they have not done that with much frequency around here in terms of consecutive losing seasons. Upstairs, 1-2 the count. Unless they win every one of their remaining games, it will be a sub-500 season. And the first time in 3 consecutive full seasons, 75, 76, and 77.
Wow. That speculation has been swirling around this organization of whether or not Mike Scioscia would like to come back. I think he does want to come back. I think some of that maybe got a little, I don't say blown out of proportion, but based on his comments, I think he likes what he does. He had a 10-year contract. It's been an unbelievable run, 19 seasons for Mike Scioscia.
Swing and a miss, and Hermosillo strikes out. Second strikeout for Sampson tonight.
And I think the thing for Mike Scioscia is that he knows this organization is going to continue. Let's take a look at this pitch from Sampson, elevating. Getting that big swing and miss. You see the slider. Not exactly where he wanted to throw it, but it is the difference in speed that got Hermosillo out front. You know, because he's ultra competitive. The idea of going into any kind of rebuild, maybe not something that would be attractive to Mike Scioscia, but that's not going to be the case here. They've got too high of a payroll.
Not only that, but they've got some young and in prime time position players who I'm sure there's pressure to take advantage of that right now. Guys like Ohtani, Mike Trout. I mean, they've got to try and make some kind of run while they have Trout. Down low, 2 balls, no strikes to Coward. 128 average for Caleb Coward with a home run and 8 RBIs, and he is the one is on base this year, 212. Now, somewhat limited time. Two and 1 the count. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is an Angels franchise. We'll be trying to make some aggressive moves. Got a lot of things set or in place right now. They just, like so many other teams, Rangers included, got to figure out some pitching issues. 2-2 on Coward.
It's amazing. That foul ball went straight back and bounced off a kind of a cement wall, so it went from what would be the mezzanine section. And, you know, line drive, and if you're looking forward, it's way over your head. As a fan, you're probably not looking back. It hit a girl in the back and then just sat between the back and her seat. The ball just stayed there. That had to sting a little bit.
Oh, but you got a souvenir.
Yeah. Multiple people checking on her. She said she's fine.
Swing and a miss, and Coward strikes out 2 in the second inning, and that's 3 punch-outs so far for Sampson.
A good job by Adrian Sampson to come back with that shutdown inning. After the Rangers put a run on the board, he puts up a 0, gets those bats right back in the dugout.
Ball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. We've played 2, and now to the 3rd inning. Willie Calhoun will lead it off, batting 8th tonight, and able to lay off that one, which was only 3.5 feet out of the zone.
Well, it's the discipline at the plate that has probably been the most impressive. So if Willie Calhoun flies out at any point in this game to Cole Calhoun, I mean, that's got to be a record. First time that we've had double Calhoun on Calhoun putouts.
Yeah, I suppose that's something that could be researched, but yeah, first blush you'd have to say that's probably first. Oh, by the way, I have to say I was impressed with the play he made.
Yes, he did a nice job. When it first came off the bat, I thought that ball was getting down. And there's a lot of talk about Willie Calhoun in the defense in an area in which they probably would like to see some improvement. He's been working on it. Put him out in the outfield after being an infielder throughout his minor league career, making those adjustments.
2-2 the count to Willie. 239 average. Couple of homers and 11 RBIs. The feeling still a strong one that Calhoun will be a very good major league hitter. And it's this one to the left side, foul.
I like what Willie Calhoun had to say about his adjustments that he was making at the minor league level. And, you know, some questions about, well, where was the power? He was getting shifted so much in the minor leagues that he was working on just trying to spray the whole field and not just taking those big swings and trying to drive the ball out of the ballpark and losing hits to shifts.
It's this one up the middle, but it's tracked down by Cowart. Nice play, and he throws out Calhoun for the first down of the inning. Well, you can entertain your guests at Globe Life Park for a night of hospitality in a suite. Suite rentals include parking passes, a suite attendant, concierge service, and recognition on the center field video board. Go to texasrangers.com/suites to place a deposit for a suite rental in 2019. A lot of business already happening looking ahead to the final season at Globe Life Park. Hard to believe a couple things. Number one, that the home season already over in 2018. And that next year will be the last year at Globe Life Park before we get into the new digs across the street. 0-2 the count here on Hanser Alberto.
It always goes by so fast, doesn't it? This was a really slow offseason this past year as far as free agency and teams finalizing rosters. A lot of things happening really late, so it felt like it was a slow offseason, but here we are a week to go, and the season absolutely feels like it flew by again.
Strikeout of Alberto, 2 away. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson. Thank you, Dana. A game with a lot of eyeballs on it, and a big series in the National League as Chu takes inside. Yeah, there's still some intrigue left around Major League Baseball with regard to the postseason and how things are going to fall out. Pena buries that one. 2-0 the count. Chu flied out in the first inning, is 0 for 1.
So you got the wild card in the American League as far as who will be the home team between the Yankees and the A's. Still some time to get that thing settled.
Is that a game and a half difference right now?
It says 2 right now. So who finished? The Yankees won already tonight.
I see. Okay,
so
yeah.
it's
So
2 games as of this moment.
Okay, so that's doable for Oakland. Not likely, but doable.
The Rockies are a game and a half back in the wild card, and St. Louis only trails Milwaukee by 2 games for the first wild card. So as far as home field advantage or who actually is even getting in.
I said it the other day, and I'll say it again. I don't think Milwaukee's given up yet on the division in the Central. 2.5 back of the division. Now, if we were to go ahead and stop the season today, this is what it would look like. A's at New York in the wild card game in the American League. Brewers hosting the Cardinals in the National League. Well, there's ball 4, so Chu is on with his 92nd walk of the season. So when obviously the World Series is what everybody's chasing, and that's the excitement at the end of the playoffs. But prior to the World Series, is there a part of it that intrigues you most?
Well, first of all, I love when we get 4 games in a day.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, right? I wish we could get more of that eventually. Teams get eliminated and the schedule gets a little bit more reasonable, but I love that. I love the games, how many games we get to watch. But I tell you right now, that Cleveland-Houston series right off the bat, from a starting pitching matchup standpoint, even without Lance McCullers Jr. or Trevor Bauer, is still great.
High fly ball out to center field, and Mike Trout is right there for it, and the inning is done. 2.5 innings in so far, still tied at 1. Is brought to you by Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer. Yeah, big Joey Gallo today roaming center field for the Rangers. So we go to the bottom of the third inning. We've seen that with a little more frequency in this second half of the season. Taylor Ward, the 9th place hitter for the Angels, will lead things off here in a 1-1 game. First pitch from Sampson. Just a little bit low for a ball.
That's one of those developing stories from this year as far as Joey Gallo and his ability to play center field. He's looked pretty good out there. We've seen guys taking on some new positions. Joey in center, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa catching at the big league level. Maybe not originally the plan, but I think all of that has gone pretty well for the most part. Joey looks pretty smooth out there. And I think for both of those guys in both of those positions, they're probably not 100 to 130 games played in those spots. I don't know if that's necessarily on the table. Certainly not for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa catching, I don't think yet.
No.
And not that Joey couldn't handle it, but there is that concern. The Rangers have talked about it. How many steps, how much time is he spending on his feet, how much ground he's covering, and when you're a big man, that stuff matters a lot.
Yeah, I wonder what comps you could make and how much you could expect, as this one is off the plate, and apparently Ward held up 2-2. Just trying to stay loose out there. He's constant motion. Joey Gallo. Upstairs, it's a full count now on Ward. Now Ward's 24 years old. He played on Saturday and got a hit in his first at bat Saturday. And for him, that snapped an 0 for 25. So he's felt some rough times lately. Count stays full. This guy, we've seen him quite a little bit in these series we've played here in September. In fact, in the month of September, the 4 full weeks, three of the 4 full weeks began Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with the Rangers playing the Angels. And this one rolled into left field, a base hit for Ward. Second inning in a row, they get the lead man on base. All right, we've got a moment now to hear from the folks over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we make car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
So a base runner now for Cole Calhoun. Bottom of the third inning. Calhoun flied out of the first. He's 0 for 1. Got away from Sampson. Almost looked like it slipped out of his hand. And you could tell, too, the way he looked at it afterward. I think he said, yeah, I need a new bar of soap out here.
Take a look at this one here. Yeah, and it's going to happen sometimes. You get a baseball that just doesn't feel right. You would assume, aren't they all the same? No, they don't all feel the same. Sometimes the laces feel a little bit bigger, a little bit flatter. Sometimes the ball feels a little bit slicker.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that, because I believe every single baseball we use in a major league season, each one is handmade. I mean, they're not, it's not like these things are machine made or manufactured. I mean, they test them to make sure they're within a certain range and all the various specs, but it's kind of amazing when you think about how many balls you go through in the course of a season, and that each one is handmade. And of course, there are going to be variations.
The hand stitching process is fascinating.
This one bounces in front of the plate. Kiner-Falefa keeps it in front of him, but can't stop Ward from going to second base. A wild pitch.
Let's take a look at the pitch here and see if Sampson's still struggling with the grip, because this one was well on the ground, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa tried to get in front of it and square it up, just didn't have enough time. But did a good job of keeping that ball in front of him. Not a lot you can do in that spot.
So 2-1 now. That is outside. Sampson has issued one walk so far tonight. That was to Jeffrey Marte to open the second inning. He has 3 strikeouts. Has allowed 2 hits, one of them the home run by Ohtani. Closing in on 40 pitches already for the night, though. There's a strike, just caught the upper outside corner, and it's a full count.
Cole Calhoun didn't like that one at all. It was borderline. See a lot of balls getting that arm side run from Sampson. I think Calhoun might have thought that was up a little bit as well.
Calhoun with just 2 hits in his last 44 at-bats. And he's been a guy, he got off to the terrible start. I mean, one of the worst starts in baseball for the first couple of months. Went to the disabled list, came off, and then turned it around to have one of the better stretches once he got healthy. But now, once again, has fallen into a big slump. 3-2 pitch, and he'll lift this one foul out of play.
One of the things Mike Socia said about Cole Calhoun in those struggles early was the fact that he got caught up in the launch angle revolution. Was worried about trying to get the ball in the air a little bit too much and got back to where they wanted him to be. And he was on, as you mentioned, a pretty incredible tear for a while. But things have slowed down. The batting average peaked in the middle of August or end of August at around 228 at 228, but it's dropped to 207 since.
Look back at second. Sampson might well have had Ward, but nobody was covering the base.
Well, sometimes these pickoffs are planned and sometimes they're not. And you see where Alberto was playing because of the shift. He's right behind second base, so there would have been a pretty good opportunity. But if Alberto didn't know that was coming, it's then on you to read the pitcher, and he might have read it a little bit late.
There's ball 4. So Calhoun walks. Angels have 2 men on base.
Take a look at this pitch here. Elevated once again, trying to go down, and Sampson's misses have been more up than down. You can see it even in that at bat to Cole Calhoun, and now Doug Roquel will come out and talk to him and figure out a way to get him back down in the zone. Of course, again, as I mentioned, maybe not the right guy to try to do it to when Mike Trout comes in, and this is where it gets kind of interesting. Now we saw Mike Trout's first at bat, and we saw the game plan, which was up and in with the 2-seam fastball. He had the backdoor slider that worked out well for him, and then ultimately Trout ended up striking out on a pitch that he did not like.
But you can pitch to him, right? You've pointed this out on a number of occasions. There are, I don't want to say weaknesses, but there's certainly areas to avoid.
Call it the less likely to do damage part of the strike zone, which is up and in especially.
Let's see what Sampson tries here. A pickoff play back at second. And if you're wondering about a double play here, and I asked that rhetorically because I was, Trout's only bounced into 5 of them this season. This ball hit well down the left field line, but hooking foul. Strike 1.
We mentioned where you would want to pitch to Mike Trout. Well, none of those red areas. This is slugging percentage by zone location, and you see down middle, down and in, down the middle. I mean, all those numbers are off the charts, and then it's really incredible to see the contrast at the top of the zone. It's not like it drops off a little bit. It drops off significantly, and so for Adrian Sampson and every other Ranger pitcher, the idea of elevating and keeping the ball at the top of the zone is probably your best bet. If you put one on the corner like that, though, that's a good pitch.
I love it. He's making this look easy. Struck him out looking in the first. Ahead 0-2. Now that foul ball, 113 miles per hour off the bat.
Strike 1.
That's right. 0-2. That one was close.
So that's back-to-back sliders down and away. One right on the corner, one just off. So you set yourself up to go up and in. Not that Mike Trout hasn't seen it before. But this is a good opportunity to elevate if Adrian's comfortable doing that. Tried to.
2-2.
Not that Mike Trout hasn't seen that trick a ton of times. He knows. He knows what the numbers are. He knows what the game plans are.
And a swing and a miss. Sampson strikes out Trout for the second time in a row.
Well, great job on the slider after going up with the fastball. This slider's finished just off, but really good downward action, and it was late. And Mike Trout so far tonight, and we don't see it too often, looking pretty uncomfortable against Adrian Sampson.
So that is a big strikeout. Here is Ohtani. First and second. Ohtani saw one pitch his last at bat, and he sent it a long way. This time he takes low.
How about that warm-up swing he just took? It was like trying to catch some worms at the end of his bat. He was golfing. And based on that home run that we saw at 146 feet in the air, I guess that's how you get it there. Now, that's not his swing. Some guys take different warm-up swings, different paths.
This one lined out to first, caught by Guzman to second for the double play. Well, that's how you get it done. You put two men on, and then you go after Trout and Ohtani.
Well, good job by Adrian Sampson making some adjustments and getting the broken bat soft liner, and a good heads-up play by Ronald Guzman to get the double play at second base.
Baseball is sponsored by GMC. Visit your local GMC dealer today. All right, three pretty interesting innings in the book so far here tonight. All square at one, and the heart of the order coming up for the Rangers. 3, 4, and 5 hitters here. Mazzara, Profar, and Gallo against Felix Pena. Beltre getting a day off today along with Elvis Andrus. And there's a strike to Nomar, who grounded out in the first inning. Mazzara made his big league debut in this ballpark. Hit 20 home runs as a rookie. Last year followed it up with a 20 home run campaign as a sophomore. Drove in 100 runs. And this year, now in his third year in the big leagues, 20 home runs. 1-2 the count. And as cool as that is to be consistent like that, you know he'd like to show some inconsistency this year and hit more than 20 home runs. 2-2.
I think you will see that number continue to climb. The consistency has been nice for Nomar Mazar, but as he gets a little bit older, we see it so often because he's already a good hitter. Right? We talk about this a lot, that nice level swing. He's got one of the lower launch angles on average for guys with 20 home runs. And that's a good sign. I like seeing that. I think Anthony Iapoce would tell you the same, the hitting coach with the Rangers. And over time, those numbers will start to go up, and I think we will see some 25 home run seasons and maybe even 30 from Nomar.
He strikes out swinging here, 1 away in the 4th inning. All right, well, taking a look now at our progressive upcoming schedule. Not a whole lot left on it. Tomorrow night and Wednesday night here in Anaheim to wrap up the season series with the Angels. And then 4 games head-to-head with Seattle up in the Pacific Northwest. And that'll put a wrap on 2018. Jurickson Profar 0 for 1, and he takes a strike. So the smirk there. A little outside, maybe. Up high. Profar, and you mentioned it earlier talking about Guzman and basically the ground he's breaking as a rookie this year. Profar, not a rookie, but breaking a lot of ground because he's gotten so much playing time. It's almost like a rookie campaign, and then he's gotten regular playing time for the first time in his career, and he has produced some big-time numbers. Two-1, and he hits this one up the middle. Shortstop Coward playing right behind the bag, maybe even shaded to the second base side, and he throws out Profar for out number 2.
I think you bring up a good point regarding Jurickson Profar. It's been an unusual way to get where he is in his age 25 season, right? We saw him in the big leagues at 19 and 20 a little bit, and then of course the injuries and no big league time from 2014 to 2015, but then we saw him again a little bit over the last couple of seasons, but nothing like the consistent playing time in which he's gotten this year, and he's taken full advantage of it. And as we mentioned before the season even started, lots of opportunity, lots of time left in his career to be an impact big leaguer. I think he's on his way. He's shown us that this year.
I think it's cool too because I remember when he showed up to spring training and a lot of the talk around camp was, he seems different, a little more upbeat, a little more pep in the step, and a little more confidence in the game in general. I think he felt a lot of pressure those early years when he was for several years in a row regarded as the top prospect in all of baseball. And when you get that tag for 1 year, that's a lot of pressure. When it happens year after year, I think that's just got to be a lot to deal with. And I feel like he's moved past that now, and he's just like, I am who I am, and I'm going to show folks what I could do. And he's had such a great year this year. It's been one of the real pleasant developments this season for the Rangers.
I bet you he and Byron Buxton have gone through some similar emotions as they try to establish themselves as big leaguers, getting that tag, but not just getting it, but everybody putting a lot of emphasis on it. Buxton has been that guy, and it hasn't quite come to fruition for him yet, but still plenty of time left in his career. The same thing with Jurickson Profar, who is now getting the opportunity and turning the corner. I wonder if being out of options helped a little bit for him in spring as far as confident, like, you know, I'm not going to go down. Hopefully I'm going to be with the Rangers, but if not, it will be with somebody else in the big leagues.
Gallo goes up after strike 3, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the 4th inning for Felix Pena. Adrian Sampson's done well so far tonight. He comes out for the bottom of the 4th when we return. Baseballs presented by the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA. We'll see out in the grotto as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. 1-1, couple of solo home runs today. All right, you can take your Rangers fandom to the next level now and own a piece of the game. It's pretty cool. See how you can get everything from game-used baseballs, bases, to autographed memorabilia. Just go to TexasRangers.com/authentics. All right, Jose Fernandez goes right after the first pitch, and he'll pop it up near the mound, and that's never an easy play, but Profar takes control of it and puts it away for out number one.
That's a really tough one because it wasn't in the air long enough where it was going to be clear who was going to get it, and there wasn't going to be very much time to talk about it. Even Adrian Sampson thought at one point that he may have to take it if necessary. You see Jurickson Profar come in, but essentially all three of those infielders got to the pitcher's mound around the same time. That could have gotten ugly. Good job by Jurickson Profar to take it over.
So with one away, first offering to Marte misses for ball one. Sampson not wasting a lot of time. Puts it on the corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Adrian Sampson, his third start as a Ranger. No wins, 2 losses. The ERA 4.09 coming into tonight. This ball lifted high in the air out to left field. Calhoun going back near the fence, and that one is gone. Marte with his 6th home run of the season, and it puts the Angels in front 2-1.
Well, Jeffrey Marte knew it when he hit it. He got this one pretty good against Adrian Sampson. It's a slider. Take a look at the location. As it sat in the middle of the plate, did not have the same break, the same depth that we have seen on that slider tonight. And because of that, Jeffrey Marte was able to get all of it and hit it out of the ballpark.
Now he goes after Arcia and misses off the plate with ball 1. Sampson has thrown a first pitch strike to right about half of the hitters he has faced so far tonight. Typically, it seems he comes right back, though, to get strike 1 if he misses with that first pitch. And then this one, that's always a critical one, that 1-1 pitch.
Yeah, he's 8 of 15 so far in the first pitch strikes, but you're right. As much as the first pitch strikes are nice, the 2-1 compared to the 1-2 is where the big difference is.
Well, he gets a roller here by Arcia, and Odor throws out the opposing catcher. There are 2 away. And that'll bring up Hermosillo. Sampson, when we talk about things the Rangers are looking at the end of this season, and there are a lot of questions for this Rangers organization right now. First and foremost, who will manage the club next year? Up and in on Hermosillo. But then Don Wakamatsu, right now the interim manager, as Jeff Bannister relieved of his duties before Friday's game back home. So there's the question of manager, and then you start thinking about addressing the biggest need this team has, and that's pitching, particularly starting pitching. How often will they want to use the opener? You know, how hard do they want to make a play for some of the free agents who will come available? And what about a guy like Adrian Sampson, a guy who has battled back from injury? This ball hit well out to left. Again, Calhoun back. He'll look up, and that one hit to nearly the same spot. Hermosillo with a home run, his first. And it's now 3-1 Angels.
Well, you mentioned where it landed, very similar, and so was the pitch. A slider. This one stayed up. The previous slider hung up in the zone as well. And for Hermosillo, this is a line shot. First home run of his big league career.
And that one, I felt like when it left the bat, a lot clearer where that one was going to end up. He really squared it up. And so now Caleb Cowart, and that one out into right field. It's a base hit. So 2 homers and a single in the inning. And the Angels making some adjustments to Sampson.
Going back to what you were saying and the idea of the opportunity that is sitting out here right now for Adrian Sampson and for all the Ranger pitchers that are making starts here late in the season, knowing that there's a need, you'd love to be able to make a really good impression for the staff or the front office, have them thinking about you going into the winter. There are certain organizations where those opportunities pop up, and there's some where there's not a lot of opportunities, but you kind of look in this spot. If you've been in this system the way Sampson has, you can kind of see how things start to develop. Then some trades come, right? Cole Hamels, Bartolo Colon taken out of the rotation, Martin Perez, and we're just kind of waiting and looking for a potential opportunity to try to run with it. And that opportunity is now here for him. His first couple of starts, threw the ball pretty well, got 0 runs of support. That Ronald Guzman home run, by the way, is the first run of support that Adrian Sampson has gotten so far here in his brief time in Texas.
Foul ball by Ward. 1-1 the count.
And I think as fans, sometimes you have a tendency to strictly focus on results. And while they certainly do matter, I think right now the evaluators for this organization dig in a little bit deeper, watch a little bit closer.
Three to 1, Angels on top. Sampson trying to get that final out here in the 4th inning. And a bouncer left side of the infield. That's deep in the hole, and it gets by Alberto and into left field. Hands are normally a very sure infielder. It was going to be a long throw if he came up with that one. He was in position.
The ball was hit pretty hard, but you're right, it was going to be a long throw. And what we know about Alberto is that the defensive part of his game is probably the strongest, but he just ended up missing that ball. Look in the glove. Surprising for him. That's a play that he certainly expects himself to make.
So the inning continues now. 2 men aboard with 2 out, and the top of the order, 3rd time through now for Cole Calhoun.
Did they give him an error on that?
They did. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. He didn't touch it.
He did not.
Look like it. But they did score an error.
Yeah, you see the reaction there. Like I said, he expects to make that play, but you're right. And I don't think it was a gimme when even if he did field it cleanly. That's the other part of that. Not an automatic.
I don't know. It's a tough error, but it also would have been a little bit of a cheap hit. I don't know. You know, it's that's a tweener.
Yeah.
1 strike pitch and a flare down the left side, but foul and into the seats. So one of the things we've talked so much about in September with the concept of the opener is the idea of a starting pitcher facing a lineup 3 times in a game. And so here we are. This is the 3rd time through for Sampson. And so that'll be interesting to see what the Rangers want to do. Now his pitch count at 65. Calhoun takes very high. It's 1-2.
And he hasn't really had these opportunities yet, right? It's only been 2 starts coming into this one. One was 5 innings. The other was 5 2/3. And he had only faced 2 hitters 3rd time through. They were 1 for 2. I think it might have been 3. Might have been a walk in there as well. But certainly nothing of any consequence. I mean, you talk about a super small sample size. You want to see that a couple of times around.
Well, there's a swing and a miss. He gets Calhoun for the final out of the inning. Angels leave a couple on, but they pick up 2 runs on the homers. And we go to the 5th inning in a 3-1 game.
Type of category where he was always just for the players, and you could talk to him about anything. He was always asking, how you doing, how you feeling, and I think that's huge for a manager just to know, like I said, for them to have your back.
He always tried to communicate with us. He's always very patient. He always tried to keep it simple for us. Yeah, he's a very comfortable guy. He's trying to make us comfortable and be ourselves.
All right, guys, talking about Jason Wood, the AAA manager. There's Woody.
I thought that was pretty fascinating to listen to those guys who have played for him and what their focus was. And I think it reiterates what's happening right now in the game. And there is Jason Wood, former teammate of mine, great guy. And good to see him having so much success coaching, but then also the respect that he has of his players. But I think it really is indicative of what players care about, and that is knowing that their manager cares about them. And Jason Wood has obviously got a great reputation with the players that have come through the Rangers system. We don't know where the Rangers are headed, but I got to believe that's a name that would at least be in the conversation as they start looking towards their next skipper.
Swing and a miss. Guzman strikes out to start the 5th inning. Yeah, I think the Rangers have been happy with the work that Jason Wood has put in the last couple of years. Definitely a guy who you figure to be obviously on the radar. You're a AAA manager and a guy they know well. And then with so many young players in the mix, and that's such a big part of where this franchise is going, that experience invaluable for him.
And there's a longer feature that was on the Rangers Insider, and you can see it on the Fox Sports Southwest Twitter feed from a couple of days ago, where there were some more guys digging in a little bit deeper about Jason Wood and the great work that he's done. But it's incredible to listen to those guys consistently talk about not what did he teach me on the field as a player, did he help me with my hitting or this or that, or understanding these situations, which he certainly has done, but the first thing they go to is how he made you feel. And that's the reality for managers and what matters a lot to these players.
Bouncing ball in the hole, shortstop. Coward with the long throw, but it won't get there in time, and Kiner Falefa with an infield hit. That's a pretty good play by Caleb Coward. I mean, Andrelton Simmons may be the best of the business at shortstop. I don't know that he makes that play.
Nope, and he's probably got the best arm among shortstops in the big leagues. And this is a really good effort, but not even close. That's one that you probably shouldn't even throw. Isaiah Kiner Falefa does a nice job of getting down the line.
Not going to get the Hawaiian hustle on that play.
No chance. Put that in your back pocket.
Well, Kiner Falefa, 91 hits. And as far as rookies go, that puts him up there in some good company. Oh, this ball stroked by Calhoun out to center field, but Mike Trout gotten just about everything this year, and he pulls that one in for out number 2.
Tough break for Willie Calhoun. He smoked that ball. And I thought for a second that Mike Trout might have underestimated how hard that ball was hit, because there was a little bit of a reaction and almost a panic reaction. You see this first pitch up over the plate from Pena. Squared up, loud line drive. You saw Mike Trout's feet start to move a little bit quicker. And he ended up having plenty of time to catch it. But nice job by Willie Calhoun, 103 miles an hour off the bat.
Took a slightly shallower route initially, first couple steps. You're right, then made that adjustment and headed back. But boy, he had a good year. And you know, as great as Mike Trout has been, and you probably don't need us to tell you that he's one of the best players, probably the best all-around player in baseball. He might be looking at a first this year, and that would be a Gold Glove. He has the only perfect fielding percentage among center fielders this year. And in fact, in the last 2 seasons, he's made 1 error. And that's not always the best way to evaluate a guy, but
still matters.
Yeah.
Well, he's talked about that and talked about wanting to improve his defense. He was very well aware of his defensive metrics, and they had been not where he wanted them to be, and he's done a good job so far. He's a +7 on his defensive run save this year. He was a -6 a year ago.
Ground ball shortstop, and Cowart goes a short way to end the inning. And in accordance with all baseball rules, if you make a good defensive play in the field, you do get to lead off when we come back.
One score here in the 5th inning, and Adrian Sampson has done a really nice job against Mike Trout so far. A couple of strikeouts, a well-located high fastball. Trout didn't like, but how about the slider here? Good depth, up and down, that break that you're looking for. He's able to get Trout to go out of the zone. Certainly not an easy thing to do. So 2 at-bats, 2 strikeouts for Mike Trout against Adrian Sampson, and he will try it once again as Trout steps in for his 3rd at-bat.
Okay, so here we go. Start of the 5th inning, 3-1 the score here. And the first pitch popped up. First base side, foul ground. The Condor is over there, and he'll put it away. And Trout 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Not easy to do. That is something Adrian Sampson should be proud of. Obviously, he'd like to be winning in this game, and the couple of home runs that have hurt, he wish it didn't happen. But anytime you can get Mike Trout out 3 times in a game, the same pitcher, including a couple of strikeouts, that is no easy feat. Good job by Ronald Guzman to haul that one in.
All right, so that's a good start to the inning. But now another very dangerous hitter, Shohei Ohtani, and he puts strike 1 right in there. Ohtani with a very impressive home run in the first, then lined into a double play in the third. It's 0-2. He has put up some pretty good numbers against the Rangers this year. He's now 16 for 46 against the Rangers. 4 doubles, 5 homers, 11 RBIs, but he strikes out swinging here on 3 pitches, and Sampson with a great start to this 5th inning.
This is a really nice job here so far to face both of these guys 3 times within a game and to rack up a couple of strikeouts, now 3 between the 2 of them. He stays elevated with the slider. That was intentional. Sometimes that slider we've seen tonight has missed at the top of the zone unintentionally, but that was one where they were trying to go up and in. Good job finishing off Shohei Ohtani.
So now, Jose Fernandez, whoa! Quite the reaction. I chuckle, but that's not funny when you're in the batter's box.
This is not something you see every day where the bat is gone too. And that's where they were trying to go. And listen, part of the reason is that you look at a guy like Fernandez, he's on top of the plate. Look where that back foot is.
That's ridiculous. Is he even in the batter's box? This popped up, foul ground. Might end the inning. And it does. Guzman puts it away. We'll have to revisit that a little bit later. But a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 5th for Adrian Sampson. We go to the 6th. Maybe the Rangers can give him some more support. Wow. Wow. So I tell you what, he has discovered the fountain of youth in Chicago. And with that, the oldest man in the lineup steps up and bounces one to second base. He'll start this 6th inning, 1 away. Chu 0 for 2 with a walk now, and it'll bring up Rougned Odor. So a 3-1 score. Odor is twice flied out. Rangers 1 run today, came on the Guzman homer in the 2nd inning. They have just 2 hits. Pena's first offering, and that one right in there for a strike. These 2 clubs 4th and 5th in the division. 0-2 on Odor. That's where they will finish. The Angels 23.5 back of Houston at the moment. Mathematically eliminated from everything, and They've lost 5 in a row. And the Angels, look, I mean, you know, you're eliminated. The season's all but done. But the way they've lost these 5 straight has been pretty dramatic. That is to say, they've been absolutely crushed. "13 runs scored, 58 runs allowed in a 5-game stretch."
Man.
Today they've bounced back a little bit.
Would you say 58 and what, 13?
13, yeah.
43 run differential.
Line drive into center field. Odor is on here in the 6th inning.
What did I say? 33? What did you say? 58 and 13? It's too late on the West Coast to do math.
35.
35, thank you.
Was it 45?
45. Clean it up.
So Fitzy, what do we got
45 and 13 is 58. But point being, so a negative 45 run differential in those 5 games, they're negative 7 on the year. So think about where they were prior. They were well in the positives. And to think that in a 5-game stretch, you can turn it around that badly.
Kind of like Seattle, right? I mean, Seattle has this winning record, and everything looks, you know, pretty impressive that way overall, even though they're not going to get into the postseason. And yet, they have a negative run differential, and have just kind of been hovering in that area for quite some time now. Mazzara, you see 0 for 2, but with one big swing, he could make this a new game. But it's not clear whether or not Sampson would come back out again. And so this is kind of an important half inning for the Rangers.
Yeah, nobody throwing it, I don't think, down in that Ranger bullpen. I don't think we've seen any action down there, have we?
You can hardly see it. Oh, 2 the count on Mazzara.
And when I say no action, I mean
nothing doing?
No action. Everyone's just sitting. Stretching or anything.
Well, that's good.
And there's 45 guys down there between the 2 bullpens, and there's only 1 guy walking around. None of them are Rangers. Well, they switched. That used to be the home bullpen down low. The visitors used to be on top. Surprised that they would switch.
Yeah, it seems like you'd want the visitors up there so that they could be heckled by the fans.
Yep.
But I would also see some value to being up top there, so you could actually see the game and not have to look through the chain link fence.
That's probably what that was about.
Pena with that high set and the 0-2 pitch, and that strike 3 called. So Mazzara down looking, 2 away.
So this I thought was interesting. We talked about this earlier in the season about the Rangers on first pitch, but how about their ranks? Batting average, slugging percentage, OPS. They lead all of Major League Baseball when they put the ball in play on the first pitch. Once they get to 2 strikes, they're the worst in baseball in all of those categories. That's, you know, it's one thing, well, 29th on the OPS, but pretty incredible to see that. You can see where, all right, lead in a couple, maybe be 25th or 24th, but to see that much of a difference, pretty much first or 30th or 29th.
That's extreme.
It's pretty extreme. You know, you brought it up, and I think it's a really good point. It does kind of tell you a little bit about this offense. They're going to come out hacking, and when they do, they're very capable of doing a lot of damage. But if that approach stays consistent throughout an at-bat, once you get to 2 strikes, life can get pretty difficult.
Well, and I think it also just indicates that they keep that same mentality. You know, 2 strikes instead of cutting down, trying to get away, whatever the case. It's kind of a pedal to the metal mentality from jump. Well, this ball is smashed out to right field. Calhoun is back, and that one is gone. And the ball game is tied. Jurickson Profar with number 19. And that squares us at 3 here in the 6th inning.
fifth home run of the ball game overall here between these two clubs, but this is the biggest so far. You see that breaking ball staying up in the zone, and look at Jurickson Profar as he goes down, keeps the head down, and drives this thing just over that 365 mark in right field.
So some support for Sampson. Now Gallo with a chance to give the Rangers a lead, but he will tap this one about 10 feet in front of the plate. And a nice play by Arcia to win the inning. Rangers, though, tie the game. Jurickson Profar continuing a great season. A 2-run homer to right. It's a 3-3 score. All right, 3-3 the score here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Profar with a big home run just a moment ago. Look, it didn't go the furthest, but it counted for the most. That's now a 3-3 ball game. Marte, Arcia, and Hermosillo in this 6th inning. Sampson with a chance to pitch in the 6th. 1-1 the count. Marte has walked and homered in this one tonight. There's a strike, 1-2. Connor Sadzik getting ready in our Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. High pop up right side again, and that one will end up in the stands.
Well, another big inning here for Adrian Sampson. He did an excellent job in the last inning. We talked about trying to go through the heart of this order, but especially the Trout Ohtani part of the order, third time through, especially after Ohtani had hit that home run. He just did an excellent job in that spot. Now the Rangers went out. They got him 2 more runs, tied the game. You'd love to see him find a way to put up another 0.
That one came in tight. And got Marte.
Don Wakamatsu is probably going to at least take a look at this replay. They may consider challenging this. You see Jace Tingler already on the phone. It does appear that they will not. Sounded like it hit the bat. That's the one thing, right? You thought you heard that crack of the bat, but this replay, yeah, that'll tell you that it hit the right hand of Jeffrey Marte.
So lead man on here in the 6th. Here is Arcia. Garcia's popped up to second base. He's grounded out to second base. See his numbers for the year there at the bottom of the screen. And they had some turnover at catcher this year. Martin Maldonado started the year as their everyday backstop, but now a balk call. So Marte awarded second base.
Take a look at this here. I wonder if he tried to step off quick because he already knew that he balked. Yeah, you see the call was made before that. I guess he knew. It must have been a little bit of a flinch in there.
So 2-0 to Arcia. Would have loved to have had Marte at first in the event that Arcia put one on the ground on the infield and maybe give herself a chance for a double play. So foul away. It's 2-1.
We mentioned that very unique leg kick that we see with Arcia. We see it now, right, where the leg comes up straight. I've never seen that before, and it just goes to show you there's so many different ways to hit, so many different kinds of mechanics, timing mechanisms, whatever it may be. These straight legs as he lifts up his foot, very unusual looking.
A bouncer up the middle. And the one play will be to first base. So there was that potential double play grounder were it not for the balk. Arcia rolls out 6-3, and now a man at third for the Angels.
And there's a little bit of a temptation there from Hanser Alberto, who thought about maybe throwing that ball to third base. Now, you see Marte, because he took a step back, must not have got a good read on that ball right away. Watch it here. Now watch as he runs. He thought the throw was going to third and was thinking maybe he was going to have to get himself in a rundown.
Well, one out. Don Wakamatsu out there to take the baseball. And good outing today for Adrian Sampson. Our Who's In, Who's Out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. And Sampson is out. Connor Sadzik, the man who's in, when we return.
Three here in the bottom of the sixth. A pitching change on tap. Connor Sadzik on to pitch for the Rangers, and making his rookie transition. He continues to make his rookie transition, is what I was trying to say, and says he's feeling more and more comfortable every day he's in that big league clubhouse. He said the biggest adjustment physically has been the fact that the ball is a little bit different at the major league level. That's taken some getting used to. One of the easier transitions is the change in transportation and how big leaguers get around as opposed to minor leaguers. And so Connor definitely relishing this experience and hoping to use it to catapult him forward as far as his big league career is concerned.
Yeah, no piling in the van to get to the ballpark, the early van. The next one after, there's usually never enough seats if you get out there a little bit too late. Yeah, travel in the big leagues, much better as you see the numbers there. Game number 10 now for Connor, and he is not allowed an earned run. You see the walks, a little bit high for him. 7 walks in 7 1/3. One of those is intentional. But he's throwing the ball well. We know he's got really good velocity. He's shown a good breaking ball. And the walk rate at the minor league level, I think, gives you some encouragement. You're not too concerned about what you've seen so far based on what his career track record is at the minor league level. And as he gets more and more comfortable, you'll see that walk rate come down and get to where you'd like to see it.
One pitch just misses to Hermosillo. So Sadzik inherits the runner at third base with 1 out. Infield plays a little better than halfway in, all around the diamond. The idea here is keep Marte at third. The hope, too, is with the power arm of Sadzik, maybe you can get a strikeout here. And that one in there to even the count at 2-2.
Well, that is ideal. I mean, especially the high-powered arm, but I also mentioned the good breaking ball and the swing and miss capabilities. And he has shown them here already at the big league level. He certainly showed them in the minor leagues. He had an 11.3 strikeout rate this year, 10.7 per 9 strikeout rate last year in the minor leagues.
Just a little bit wide, and it's a full count now on Michael Hermosillo, who hit his first big league home run in his last at bat. Hermosillo, this is 28th game this year with the Angels. The 3-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. He went chasing one in the dirt. And did he get a piece of it? He must have.
Let's take a look at this, and this is not a play that is reviewable. Huh? I don't think so.
Don't either, but
I think it was the sound of hitting the ground that might have fooled everybody.
Uh-oh, this one gets away. That's ball 4, and heading to the plate, Marte. And so the Angels take a 4-3 lead on the wild pitch.
Now that is a really unfortunate break because it did appear that Connor Sadzik had the strikeout. I'm going to show you this one more time. See if you see a foul tip in here. This would be a good look with the super slow-mo. Negative. Strike 3. That's really unfortunate for Connor Sadzik. And then this slider just got away from him. He overthrew it. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was unable to get in front of it. And so instead of it being 2 outs with that runner still on third and the now leading run that came across, we got a runner at first and just 1 out.
And unfortunately, the run belongs to Adrian Sampson. So now he trails 4-3 and will have no chance at winning it. All he could do is lose the game today.
What a tough break.
What a weird inning, too. I mean, you have the hit batter, the balk, and then the wild pitch that produces the go-ahead run. Cowart, 1 for 2, is struck out and singled. Sadzik seemed to miss that one. A hard-throwing right-hander. On in relief here of Adrian Sampson, who went 5 1/3 innings tonight. Sampson will get one more start this year. This one fouled straight back out of play.
I think he's thrown the ball pretty well. I think the Rangers have to be happy with what they have seen from Adrian Sampson, his ability to bounce back after giving up those 3 home runs. Threw the ball really well. You watch him, he could be a guy, whether they see him as a starter or also a guy who could fall into that primary pitcher role. Or maybe you bring him in like we've seen them do with Gerardo.
In the dirt, 1-2. And the runner leading over at first base, 1 out. This ball lined toward that right field corner. That could be trouble. It is. Bounces up into the seats, and that'll be an automatic double. Hermosillo got rid of the helmet as he was coming around third base, but he'll have to stop there. And there's a spot where that short outfield wall in right field really helps the Rangers.
Yeah, this is a slider that stayed in the middle of the plate. They were trying to throw this inside. Going for the swing and the miss on the 1-2 count. It's a good line, hard shot there from Cowart. But you're right, that short wall worked in the favor of the Rangers. Sometimes you'll lose a home run because of it, or gain a home run, I guess, as a hitter. Those easy ground rule doubles, automatic doubles. That's the right place to do it.
So Taylor Ward now infield drawn in. He'll pop this one up. Short left field. Calhoun coming way in for it, but so too is Gallo. Almost overruns it. Gallo takes care of it though, and there are 2 gone. Well, he was moving by the time he got to that thing.
He certainly was, and he's probably getting really wide-eyed in the process of the idea of maybe having to make a throw at home, but that ball ended up being so shallow there was going to be absolutely no chance for Hermosillo to tag.
Well, after that one, the lineup turned over to the top, and Alex Claudio being summoned from the bullpen. He'll face Cole Calhoun when we return.
Legendary Lager for legendary moments. Rangers fans, this bud's for you.
Well, the great Adrian Beltre not in the lineup today. Here it's a 1-run game, 4-3, Angels leading at the bottom of the 6th inning. Well, you know, you can show your spirit year-round. Stock up on Rangers gear at our team stores. Go to the Rangers team store in Fort Worth at Sundance Square, or check out the majestic Grand Slam gift shop inside Globe Life Park. Hours and store info available online, texasrangers.com/retail. All right, here is Alex Claudio.
Game number 64 for Alex, 66 innings for him and just 12 walks. It's the 2-seam fastball, the changeup, and the slider that you will see. He has faced Cole Calhoun 9 times. He's 2 for 8 with a walk, 3 RBIs. He has struck him out a couple of times. Big spot here, though, with a couple of runners on second and third.
First pitch Downstairs, Calhoun. Got the walk in the third inning. Mentioned earlier, it's been a struggle for him again lately. Claudio gets him to tap this one toward first base if it stays fair. That should end the inning. Guzman takes it to the bag, and the inning is done. So they leave two in scoring position, but Anaheim retakes the lead, up 4-3 with Guzman leading off when we return. A little bit of home run derby for these two teams. And the Rangers, well, Guzman just sliced that one into the corner, just enough to tie the game at one apiece. And then a little bit later on, Jerks and Profar, yeah, just got it over the wall. A two-run shot to tie it at 3. A couple of big Rangers home runs tonight. It turns out now the run that has Los Angeles in front by a run scored on a wild pitch. So, home runs for all the runs today except the last one that we have seen scored. 4-3, Angels on top, and the count 1-1 on Guzman. Bit of a shift against the rookie first baseman as he takes low. Not as dramatic as you're accustomed to seeing, at least in this day and age. But Cowart, well up the middle. Shortstop playing almost behind the bag. Bouncer, meanwhile, to the left side. And handled easily by Ward, one away. Yesterday, it was right about this time of game, about an inning earlier, when Adrian Beltre went out to field his position at third and then came off the field. Said goodbye to his teammates, big hugs, and offered an opportunity to lead the field to a standing ovation at Globe Life Park. It was a special moment. A tough one, though. Emotionally very difficult, I think, for a lot of Rangers fans to watch. And I will, full disclosure, it was a little hard for me to watch.
It was a really nice moment. You're right. Difficult to watch, but also a nice moment. And we're all kind of hoping that's not the last time we see that from Adrian Beltre as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa pops out. But that's what this is all about. Adrian's not sure what he's going to do. He's going to take the offseason to think about it. And just in case this was his last home game yesterday afternoon at Globe Life Park, they wanted to give the fans at least that opportunity to recognize him. And even Adrian, you know, you mentioned it. You kind of watched him sit there, kind of absorb it for a little bit. He was on the bench by himself while everyone was kind of on the top step while the game was still going on. And you could tell he was thinking a little bit. There were some things going on inside that head that no one's allowed to touch.
It's funny because I was watching him in the dugout, and Dave Burchett, our fantastic director, covered for all of us by cutting together a bunch of beautiful images and just allowing us to watch the moment unfold and to gain our own composure. As this one rolled towards short and just through for a base hit. Calhoun is on. But I thought he did a great job of that. And one of the shots we had was Adrian throwing water on his face, grabbing a towel and then wipe it off. And then I watched closely as he's kind of wiping his eyes too. And it was a nice, well executed job on his part. I thought, well, maybe he teared up a little bit there, and that's what he was doing. And Don Wakamatsu, after the ball game, asked about the moment, said, yeah, it was very difficult for us, you know. I mean, a special moment for him and for everybody. But he said even Adrian tearing up in the dugout. So it kind of confirmed what I thought I saw there. It was something. And we'll see more of him on this road trip. The idea is that I think he would play at least a game in each of these remaining stops on the road.
We just showed you that picture right there. That shot was of Adrian and then Gerardo right next to him, 23 years old, playing with a 39-year-old future Hall of Famer. And they're teammates now. But it's one of those things that, you know, you'll be able to say for all these guys and for every former teammate of Adrian Beltrais and all the positive effects that he has had on each and every one of them. Those are things that when your career is over, you look back and you're like, yeah, I was really fortunate to play with him and to play with a Hall of Famer. And you'll think about things you learned from him and the idea of watching him every day prepare. Those are things that stick with each of his teammates. He doesn't think about that kind of stuff, but the impact goes much further than he probably will ever realize.
In the dirt, 1-2 the count, and Calhoun takes off for second base. He's in there. And now in scoring position on the wild pitch.
Good read by Willie Calhoun as he saw this ball in the dirt and took off with zero hesitation. There's that breaking ball. The slider has not been as good as we have seen from Pena throughout the season. Good job by Willie Calhoun. That's good base running. Those are those little things that you're looking for right now.
Now in a spot by taking second base where a simple base hit to the outfield might even tie this game. Seventh inning, and Alberto 0 for 2. That one in the dirt. See, it keeps it close. Well, as folks here in Southern California understand, I was invited onto the Angels broadcast as a pregame guest. It was something they've been planning for a long time. When they heard that I was going to be here, they are very popular in the area.
Yeah.
And you know when
Fox
you
Sports West.
but Alberto pops this one up in the short left field, and that'll be playable for Coward.
Good story.
Yeah, that was a beaut. We go to the bottom of the seventh. They stand and stretch. It's a one-run game. Rangers app. You can customize your experience, take advantage of so many great features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day. Download MLB At Bat today. That's the scene outside the Big A. Inside the Big A here, we continue play in the bottom of the 7th inning. Big spot for Alex Claudio. As here we'll get Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, and then Jose Fernandez. The first pitch to Trout misses for ball 1. Trout 0 for 3.
So certainly a tough matchup for Alex Claudio. Mike Trout is 3 for 4 against him in his career with a double. Mike Trout is also hitting an even .300 against left-handers coming into this game. And for Alex, we don't see Alex elevate very often intentionally. You just saw the changeup. You saw the first pitch fastball that just missed. He makes his living staying down in the zone, but we have seen him, when necessary, even from that low angle that he throws from, elevate the fastball. Just not too often.
2-1 the count. Trout struck out twice and then popped up in foul territory against Adrian Sampson. 2-1. And that is outside ball 3. Trout already 115 walks. And that's against 119 strikeouts coming into play tonight. Highest on base percentage in baseball. And he takes ball 4. So there he goes. Leadoff walk in the 7th inning. Brings up Shohei Ohtani, our TXU Energy Power player to watch. Ohtani, the second Japanese native with 20 or more home runs in a season. Becky Matsui did it 5 times. Ohtani, of course, this his rookie season, and he lost a lot of at-bats, or would-be at-bats, to all the pitching responsibilities he had. This is only the 109th game in which he has played this year. He's about half the at-bats that a guy might get in a full regular season.
And that's what we'll probably get a look at next year, right? We know he's dealing with the elbow, likely not to pitch, assuming he has Tommy John surgery. That is not decided just yet. But he can still hit, even if he does have the surgery, and we probably will see all of those at-bats. And as a Ranger fan, it's not that exciting. As a baseball fan, it's pretty exciting.
Well, I would agree. I mean, he's been fun to watch this year, although he has done maybe an inordinate amount of damage against the Rangers. You figure the now 21 home runs, and what, 5 of those at the expense of the Rangers? Bouncer, second base. Odor with a quick flip for 1. On to first, double play. And that is twice today they have doubled up Ohtani. The first one was a line out. That was a ground ball double play, and I believe only the second time this year that he's rolled into a double play.
Well, it's because he's such a great runner, and coming out of the left-handed batter's box, there's a great advantage for Shohei Ohtani, and not an easy thing to do. You got to get him to hit that hard ground ball. We know that Alex Claudio does an excellent job, and it's not like a guy like Ohtani just hits the ball in the air all the time. He does hit the ball 45% of the time on the ground, but you're absolutely right. That is just the second double play that he has hit into this year.
Love you to say that with just a little less surprise in your voice.
What's that? I sounded a little less surprised. You gonna finish that story from last inning?
No, 2 outs, man. I can't do it again. The moment passed. Really wasn't much to the story, because that one bounced foul.
Well, you were so busy tooting your own horn.
Yeah,
about
you know, it's all in the setup.
Pre-game show.
It's all in the setup. So Trout, who tied a club record with that walk to open the inning, 116, a record that he set several years ago in 2016 here. And a race from the bases, and now the count 0-2 on Jose Fernandez. And that one cued down to third slowly. We'll do it again. Crowd of a little better than 29,000 here tonight. And trying to get the wave started on the left side of the stadium. 0-2, and a swing and a miss, strike three. So Fernandez strikes out, and Claudio has done it again. A goose egg in the seventh.
That's a nice job by Alex Claudio after the walk. Then he gets a double play, and then finishing things off. Pitch below the zone, strikeout against Fernandez.
Top of the order coming for the Rangers. New pitcher coming on for the Angels. One of their two left-handers, Jose Alvarez.
It's been another good year for Jose Alvarez as he gets ready for game number 75 on the season. You see the overall average at 223. It's 214 against lefties, 235 against righties. So not just one-dimensional in that sense. He's done a really nice job. In the repertoire, well, it's a fastball that sits at 92 miles an hour, the cutter at 87. You'll see a slider at 82 and a changeup at 81 miles per hour.
All right, so Alvarez on here in the eighth inning. Chu lead things off. Just a one-run game, and there's a strike right in there to Chu. 0-1. And you see Sherman Johnson has taken over at second base for Fernandez. One fouled away, and the count quickly 0-2. Chu today has walked. 0 for 2 though. This ball hit out to right field. Calhoun was deep and perfectly positioned. One away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. We're all staying up late with Dana Larson. Yeah, 46. Thank you, Dana. Just does not slow down.
It's been amazing to watch Chris Davis, the work that he has done there. Third year in a row now where he has hit 40 or more home runs. I remember, and those are all with the Oakland A's, and that was the first year he got there in 2016.
Gore lifts this one to straightaway center field and playable for Trout. 2 away.
I remember at the time I was like, that's a pretty sneaky acquisition. After he spent about 2.5 years with the Milwaukee Brewers, and he has just gone off. His previous high before he played with the A's was 27 home runs. in 2015. Since then, he has gone 42, 43, and now 46.
He's remarkably consistent. It's just amazing to watch him.
And his batting average, right? We talked about that before. We had the 3 years in a row where he had 247 every single year. This year it was 249 going into tonight.
Still a chance to get that down. We were talking about Nomar's consistency earlier tonight, and I was thinking of Chris Davis when we were having that conversation, because when we were that previous road trip in Oakland, he was hitting 257 again. Well, could he really go 4 years in a row? Exact same batting average, roughly the same number of home runs. 1 strike pitch. That's off the plate. 1-1 to Nomar, who's 0 for 3 so far tonight.
I mean, if you hit like 248, you're just kind of wishing you hit 247. You know, it's a point higher. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah,
it's way cooler.
More memorable. Mazzara shoots this ball hard out to left field. Hermosillo gets twisted up, but recovers to make the play. Each outfielder makes a play in the top of the 8th for the Angels, and they lead 4-3. The Texas Department of Transportation, who remind you to click it or ticket, day and night. Now still just a 1-run game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And our final season at Globe Life Park coming up next year. Full and half-season tickets are on sale now. And as a 2019 season ticket holder, you will secure your place in line for season tickets in the new Globe Life Field, which opens in 2020. Tickets are available at TexasRangers.com/seasons or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right, well, bottom of the 8th, and Eddie Butler has come on for the Rangers.
Let's see the overall numbers there for Eddie Butler. Of course, he came over in that Cole Hamels trade back on July 27th. So this is game number 28 combined for the Rangers right-hander.
2-0 on Marte. It'll be Marte and Arcia and Hermosillo. Butler could really use a scoreless appearance. He's going into some rough patches here lately. And I mean, important too, just to keep this a 1-run game. Give his team a shot. Bouncer, left side of the infield. Profar's there. And throws out Marte, 1 away.
Well, it's time for Built for Baseball, which is brought to you by T-Mobile. And you know who's built for baseball, Dave? And that's going to be Arcia, the catcher for the Angels. Did something pretty incredible. He caught, he pitched. This, of course, was last Thursday in Oakland, and then he hit. It's like a pitch, hit, and catch competition that he was involved in, and he did pretty well for himself. A fun moment. Not that he had to pitch. I don't love, of course, that had to happen. But he had fun with it.
Well, he caught the first 7 innings, pitched the last 2 innings, and homered in the 9th. It's a pretty remarkable accomplishment for a guy. Those rarities.
He didn't look like he was really rearing back and throwing when he was on the mound, which is okay because you figure at that point, I mean, how many times do you think, you said he caught 7 innings, that he actually threw a baseball that day before he got on the mound to pitch? He warmed up, he played catch, he caught probably 100+ pitches, had to throw, what, 80 of those back?
Fly ball out to center field, and Gallo is right there. Let's just say this, the arm was plenty loose by the time he was asked to pitch. All right, 2 gone, and we've got a moment here to hear from the folks over at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
You know, the other part of this for Eddie Butler, as you mentioned, the idea of having a good outing and a clean inning. In now 6 of his last 7 games, he's thrown less than an inning. He had a couple of games where he went back-to-back where he did not record an out. In his last 4 consecutive outings, less than an inning. Had 2-inning outing back on September 12th, and then the previous 2 before that were also less than an inning. So the idea here of having that complete inning, especially a clean one here in a 1-run game, that certainly would give Eddie a nice little boost this last week of the season.
Balls, no strikes. Count on Hermosillo. Good clean 8 certainly would be nice. He fouls this one back. Look out. Two and 1. At one of the home radio booth.
Tim Salmon ended up with that ball. I didn't even see it.
This ball fouled to the left side and way up into the upper deck. 2-2. So Butler got a ground out, the fly ball out. And needs 1 more strike. Take care of Hermosillo. Give the Rangers middle of the order an opportunity in the 9th. 2-2. And that one is wide.
That one at 97 miles an hour. That is one of the things that we have seen from Eddie Butler so far with his time here in Texas. The velocity has been pretty good for him.
High pop up. Back behind the plate. Might be room out there. There is. And Kiner Falefa makes the play. Woo. Had to stay with that one. The inning is done. A 1-2-3 for Butler, and Jurickson Profar will lead things off for the Rangers when we come back.
Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford SUV season. Ford is the best in Texas. And by the new Shiner Wicked Juicy IPA.
Ninth inning now, 4-3 the score. And the Rangers hoping to get something going here. Our Kubota power stats are concerning Ty Buttrey. Yeah, one of just 2 players in franchise history for the Angels with 4 saves in his first 14 career games.
Not too often, as you see here with Buttrey, the number 16 games now for him on the season. He has thrown the ball really well. He came over in the Ian Kinsler trade from the Boston Red Sox. They have to be pretty thrilled with the piece that they have gotten in return. He has thrown the ball well, got good velocity, and I mentioned this last time we saw him, the confidence of Mike Sosa, which is always a big one, and he's gotten it early with his manager.
A little bit high, 2-0.
Butler to Buttrey. I mean, we went Cole Calhoun from Willie Calhoun to kick this game off in the first. Could we end it with a Butler Buttrey?
Foul away. 2-1 unprofiled. We've had some real good fortune today.
Yeah.
Games. I have another reliever here. Let's make sure I have all my facts together here. Blake Parker. This one bounced down to third base. Nice play down there by Ward, and he takes care of Profar for out number 1. Well, tomorrow, middle game of this series, are Ford probables. And we'll see Giovanni Gallardo make, hard to believe, his 17th start for the Rangers, looking for his 9th win of the year. Matt Shoemaker will be making his 6th start for Los Angeles. Rangers happy to see him back and healthy. I don't think they can get him through the rest of this year that way and into the offseason. So when I was a kid, and you were a kid,
yeah,
there was an ad campaign. Was it Parquet? You open the refrigerator, butter, margarine.
Parquet.
It was Parquet, right?
Yeah.
So I think of like Parker. It's unfortunate that it's Parker and not Parquet, and it's definitely unfortunate that it's just not buttery, because that's what it looks like to me. This one, pot foul, back out of play, and they count 2-1. Dave Burchett, our director, points out. Oh, wait, you're messing around with those names. There is no margarine for error.
Oh, well, hey.
I don't want to mess those up. He's a smooth one, that guy. Salty veteran. 2-1 pitch on the way, and Gallo takes downstairs, 3-1. 39 home runs for Joey Gallo. With this last week to go, that's a full count.
No better time than now for number 40 with the opportunity to tie the ball game, and the Rangers will get a couple of shots at it. You got Joey Gallo right now. Ronald Guzman, of course, homered earlier in the game. That was in the second inning, his first at bat.
Swing and a miss. Gallo strikes out. And just like that, 2 away.
We'll mention the really good arm of Ty Buttrey, and you see the movement on this fastball as well. Ended up finishing off the plate at 94 miles an hour, and you see the frustration there from Joey Gallo, but it was the late movement, I think, that got Joey. That pitch started out as a strike on the corner, but finished just off.
Guzman goes after strike 1. Ronald has one of the home runs tonight for the Rangers. They had a pair. His was a solo shot of the second. Profar, a 2-run homer in the 6th. The Rangers 3 total runs on 5 hits in this one tonight. really haven't had a whole lot of opportunities offensively. This ball hammered to center field. Trout chased back to the wall, and that one off the fence. Heading to second, Guzman, and he'll be in there with a 2-out double. Well, the tying run in scoring position.
Man, that was close. That hit pretty high up on the wall. First of all, Ronald Guzman absolutely smoked this ball to dead center field, and you see that pitch out one caught a little bit more of the plate than Buttrey wanted it to, and also elevated. Watch how hard Ronald Guzman hits this and how quickly it gets over the head of Mike Trout and hit. Oh, I mean, right there, about 2/3 of the way up the wall. Oh, you're talking about 6 or 7 feet. We'd have ourselves a tie ball game.
Well, Delano will pinch run for Guzman. Great speed out there. Guzman, some high fives. Good day at the plate for him. And now Elvis Andrus will pinch hit for Kiner Falefa. Andrus, you got to believe that he hasn't had a whole lot of pinch hitting experience. Hits this ball through into left field. That's a base hit. The Shields around third. He heads to the plate, and he is in with a tying run. And Andrus delivers with 2 out in the 9th inning to tie this game.
What a couple of really smart moves by Don Wakamatsu that just paid off here for the Rangers. First having Delino DeShields pinch run, and then Elvis Andrus, who gets a slider up in the zone in this kind of spot. He's not going to wait around, laces that thing into left field, and Delino DeShields with the great speed scores pretty easily. We now got ourselves a tie ball game.
Which is good, clean fun right there.
So as a pinch hitter over the course of his career, Elvis Andrus had 14 plate appearances.
And now they're thinking that perhaps Delino missed third base. And so the Angels, that is, they have asked for a review.
Let's take a look at the replay. Delino right there. It's tough to tell. Looked like he caught the corner of the bag.
Here's the thing, he caught enough of the bag.
Let me get a better look here. No, you can't. I mean, you can't really tell. You just kind of assume.
Neither of those tell you anything definitive, certainly.
But anyway, Elvis has been good in his pinch hit spots, considering he hasn't done it very often. I mentioned now 5 for 14. That would be his 3rd RBI.
I like to, and like a good pinch hitter, up there, you just attack it.
Yeah.
Right? You just see that a lot. Well, here we go. Nice work, fellas. Yeah. Didn't see anything. So Delino scores the tying run. Andrus at first base, representing the go-ahead run in this 9th inning. And now Willie Calhoun. This one popped up, short left field. Coming in for that one, Hermosillo, and the inning is done. But the Rangers tie it up. Delino DeShields pinch running, comes in on the pinch hit single by Elvis Andrus, and we're square at 4. right, sounds like a plan, Dana. Thank you very much. Now, bottom of the 9th inning. Rangers making some changes here. A tie game. And it'll be Chris Martin on the mound. That's of primary concern. So Martin taking over for Eddie Butler.
A 44th game for Chris Martin this year. You see the tremendous strikeout to walk rate, 33 strikeouts to just 5 walks so far in his 39 innings of work. And for Chris Martin this season, that fastball has been a good one, has averaged 95 miles an hour. You'll see the cutter, the slider, an occasional split finger as well. Now Mike Sosa's out here talking.
Well, he's probably trying to figure out if his lineup card makes any sense because the Rangers just made a number of moves. Robinson Chirinos has come in to take over at catcher. Don Wakamatsu shuffling some bodies around. After Andrews pinch hit there, he kept him in the game, so he's at shortstop. Hanser Alberto moved over to third base, where Profar was, so Profar moved over to first, displacing Guzman, who's of course looked to be a pinch runner. And then Chirinos catching, so a little bit going on there.
So Delano stayed out of the game, and then Chirinos went into Guzman's spot, right?
Yeah. And Martin now on the mound. So the 8 and 9 hitters in the lineup. Coward bounces this one first base. Odor, nice range to his left. And Profar scoops it out of the dirt. 1 away. Now, hardly a routine 4-3 put out there. Well executed. And now Taylor Ward. That was nice by Rugi. Now he's positioned way over there. And that can't be an easy throw. And you're going as hard as he was to his left, and then throwing to first base when you're nearly behind it.
We just don't get those opportunities very often during the game. We can practice them once in a while. We talk about that a lot with these defensive shifts and the new angles in which infielders are making throws. And think about when you take, say, infield, outfield during spring training, or every once in a while where you're taking ground balls during the season coming on early. You usually don't see the second baseman standing in the outfield practicing taking ground balls, moving to his left and making a throw on the run. They still go stand out in their standard position and take ground balls. And I kind of wonder about that as far as the repetition and if teams have adjusted as far as what they do in their practice time. And there's not a lot of practice time during the year.
No balls, 2 strikes on Ward. He is singled, reached on an error, and flied out, and he takes in the dirt. Stays 1-2. So Martin is the 4th reliever tonight for the Rangers. Connor Sadzik was the first man up in the 6th inning. Sadzik pitched just 1/3 of an inning. Claudio an inning and a third. Eddie Butler a perfect 8th inning, and now Martin. Just off the plate. 2-2. There's Eddie. Two pitch to Ward and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big strikeout. There are 2 gone in the 9th.
Take a look at this pitch here from Chris Martin, followed up by the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He comes back with what looked like that slider, that split finger for him. Good straight downward movement. It's probably the split. based on the way that thing moved. It's pretty nasty.
By the way, that challenge in the top of the inning with Delino, whether or not he touched third base, that was an official challenge by the Angels, and they're now out of challenges for the rest of the game.
It's not true.
What?
Well, they'll get one in extra innings.
They're not in extra innings yet.
Oh, well, the rest of this inning, they're out. We're going to play. The Rangers are not going to lose the game right here. They're going to get another challenge next inning.
One strike pitch, and that one misses low. 1-1.
What do we conclude that they don't?
You're thinking
extra innings. Extra inning challenges, you get one.
Right.
But they don't accumulate every inning. If you play 12 innings and you haven't used one, you don't have 3 in the 12th inning.
No.
Right?
Well,
no, I'm thinking of mound visits.
Mound visits.
That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking of. What happens in extra innings? You get an extra challenge or no?
On replay?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a really good question. We spent so much time this year worried about the mound visits and what happened.
And we haven't even gotten close to any of those.
No. Two-one. When spoiled, it's 2-2.
I think we've faced that situation where it's come up.
I don't know if you get any extra challenges in extra innings. 2-2. Inside. A full count now on Calhoun. Now the umpires, right, the crew, you have a crew challenge, and they can, or review, they can ask for help.
No limit on those.
No.
Can you imagine umpires like, sorry, I'm out of challenges. Can't challenge myself.
Martin's 3-2. He's fouled away again. Two outs, nobody on. Ninth inning. Rangers scored a run in the top of the ninth to tie it.
I tell you, as long as this at bat is going, those Farmer John fresh pork ribs are sounding better and better.
And again, another break away from the plate. And now Martin ready. And this one bounced right side of the infield. Long run for Elvis, and he gets it to first in time. And that's a big time play by Andrews. In the bottom of the ninth inning to force extras. Chris Martin with a perfect 1-2-3 ninth. And now the Rangers to try and win it in extra innings. Extra innings as we go to the top of the 10th inning, tied at 4. Hey, Thursday nights are about to get a lot bigger as Fox becomes the new network home for Thursday night football. It's the Vikings and Rams in the battle of NFC heavyweights Thursday at 6:30 Central on Fox and streaming on Prime Video. Now, it's a game. All right, so as we go to the 10th inning, look at the extra innings records this year. Rangers 7-6. Angels have had a little trouble in extras this year. Hansel Robles will take over in this 10th inning.
So game number 51, and the name game just continues to be fun as we go. Hanser. I'd like to see you call this entire at bat only using first names. Good luck.
Big swing and a miss.
Be a good time for Alberto's first career big league home run. He's got 183 plate appearances under his belt, going back to 2015.
Oh, this one down the right field line, but foul. 0-2 the count. Rangers with a run in the 9th inning to force extras. The only Hansel I'd ever heard of was from Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
The German, what would you call that? Fairy tale? What happened with Hansel and Gretel? Are they the ones that they go in the oven or something? Crazy. Some old lady coaxed them into the house or something. Bunch of nonsense those fairy tales were. As a kid, those things, like, I didn't like any of them.
No?
No, I hated fairy tales. I thought they were scary. You ever read that, like, Brother Grimm? Ever see all those?
I've never even heard of Brother Grimm.
Oh, well, see, now you're just, come on. Anyway, he was a scary dude. Messed up dude. Fly ball out to center field. Well stroked by Alberto, but he is out, one away.
Let's go back to what happened in the 9th inning, and how did we get to extra innings? Well, with 2 outs, Ronald Guzman absolutely stung this ball to dead center field, almost hit it out of the ballpark, and he kept the inning going. And after Delano DeShields pinch ran for Guzman, it was Elvis Andrews who comes off the bench with a pinch hit single. DeShields scores easily, and that is how the Rangers tied this thing up. That's how we got to the 10th inning. Good job by Eddie Butler in the 8th, Chris Martin in the 9th. And really, the bullpen for the Rangers has done a very nice job so far this evening.
Yeah, that's been a huge part of the story. On the 1-strike pitch, Chu fouls it straight back, and the count 0-2. Anyway, I'm of the opinion that there should be nice, pleasant stories for small children.
No, like eating grandmas.
No, it should be like Ferdinand the Bull, you know. Happy Bull, he just wanted to lay around in the flowers. That's a nice kid story. There's a swing and a miss, and Chu strikes out. 2 away here in the 10th inning. So Robles comes on here and gets 2 quick outs on 7 pitches, and will contend with Rougned Odor. Odor had the base hit in the 6th inning, eventually came in on the Profar home run. Rangers, at this point now, they have out-hit the Angels 7-6. And Odor got out in front of this one just a little bit. High pop up out into right field. And that one corralled by Calhoun, and it's a 1-2-3 top of the 10th inning. So to the last of the 10th now. Trout, Ohtani, and Johnson coming up for the Angels. 10th inning. And Jose Leclerc, who is now on a 19-inning scoreless streak where opposing hitters are just 3 for 56 against him. He has been impressive.
He has been crushing it, and the 31 strikeouts, the 5 walks during that 19-inning scoreless streak. I mean, the strikeouts alone in 19 innings by themselves are impressive, but no runs across the board, and Jose Leclerc has just been locked in ever since getting this opportunity to take over as the full-time closer for the Rangers. He has been spectacular. He gets a tie game here in the bottom of the 10th. This certainly won't be easy as he gets Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. And the Rally Monkey, there's some rumors here that maybe he was gone. He's back.
I've seen more than enough of the Rally Monkey this season. And there he is, having uncle on that thing. What is that? It's like 15 years old.
Well, they changed it up a little bit. They had a nice little wrestling video there.
I saw it with Nacho Libre. Another great movie, by the way.
That's pretty good.
You seen that one?
I have not, believe it or not.
Let's just say it's a better movie than Hansel and Gretel was a fairy tale.
I thought you were going to say the movie was better than the book.
Strike one to Trout. Good fastball, 95 miles per hour, and that one is outside, 1-1 to count. Trout's had a tough night, 0 for 3 with a walk. Very dangerous hitter. That goes without saying. 38 home runs this year. And he comes up 50 here. It's 1-2. A lot of local fans have remained here tonight. A little better than 29,000 announced as the paid attendance this evening. 2-2. Clark, the 6th Rangers pitcher of the night. Well, that's a pretty good one.
It's one of those ones where it missed location, but it appeared that it was still a strike. Trying to go down and away, this ball finished down and in. And Fox Tracks had it in the strike zone.
Big 3-2 pitch to Trout. And that's fouled away. Now Trout would contend that he was robbed in the first inning on a borderline pitch, and maybe even on a check swing that was very close. Ended up striking out in that first inning. Might have just evened up with that pitch that was called a ball a moment ago. 3-2 from Leclerc. Wow. Very close, but that's ball 4. Second walk for Trout tonight.
Now this one was close, as was the previous pitch before that one. Probably just off the edge. You see Robinson Chirinos doing his best to try to present that as a strike, but it was off the plate.
Trout, 24 stolen bases in 26 attempts, will take his lead and try to split the attention and the focus of Jose Leclerc, who has to contend with Ohtani now. Field of double play depth. And that one off the plate, ball 1.
And Jose Leclerc has allowed 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts so far this season, and for Robinson Chirinos, so far he has thrown out 6 of 59, just 10% on the season. And so there is an opportunity here for Mike Trout.
Not going. Ohtani hammers this ball down the right field line toward the corner, and that's a foul ball. Steve, right one. That's the way to even the count.
That would have been a tough one to handle too, even if it was fair. That corner down there had not bounced over the wall. You get some tricky bounces the way that things curve in the corners here at Angel Stadium. And Ohtani just out in front of this a little bit and hooked it. He wasn't fouled by much.
Toss over there to first.
Well, he's got to keep him close. And for Mike Trout, it's not just about the opportunity to potentially steal a base, but also to kind of serve as a distraction, as Jose Leclerc will be giving Mike Trout some attention. And the idea there sometimes is just to buy your hitter maybe a mistake from the pitcher. He has got to divide his attention to both of these situations right now. And the other thing you have, of course, with Ohtani, the left-handed hitter, and Profar holding on Trout, is there's a lot of room on the right side for a ground ball to get through.
Ooh, checked up that swing. Yes, he did. 2-1. Bottom of the 10th inning. I did not miss by much. If it missed at all, 3-1. Man, that was another tough call.
Yeah, I got to believe that right now for Jose Leclerc, that he's getting frustrated. Now that's another example of missing a spot, but the ball still being a strike and not getting the call.
Good hitters count, the 3-1. And there's a strike. It's a full count.
This one's certainly a strike, and Jose Leclerc, that good late movement with the good velocity. It's a big pitch here for Jose Leclerc. You talked about it earlier. We saw Ohtani ground into that double play. Not something you see very often from him.
Yeah, as much as you'd love for that right here. I mean, I think the key to this moment is just making sure that Ohtani doesn't do any major damage here. You're taken out no matter how you can get it. Trout with a good lead. There he goes, 3-2 pitch, and that one is way out in front.
Not surprising to see Mike Trout go there. You'll likely see it again. And he had a pretty good jump. Not that Ohtani doesn't strike out much, but Jose Leclerc, as we mentioned, 4 out of 5 for the stolen bases against him. And it makes perfect sense, even though you don't see Ohtani hit into very many double plays.
What would look good right here would be the line out the first double play. Long hold, Trout running. And it's fouled back. That's a good
nice
battle
job
right here.
That's a really nice job by Jose Leclerc, mixing up your holds, and that's something that you're taught as a pitcher. You don't want to fall into those habits of coming set for the same amount of time and then delivering a pitch, and it gets very uncomfortable for base runners when you do this. The longer you hold, the more uncomfortable they get. Mike Trout didn't get nearly the jump on that pitch as he did the previous pitch.
That's a healthy lead. There he goes, 3-2 pitch. That one out to center field. And Gallo is there. He's got a rocket of an arm. The throw back to first, not quite in time. That's a great throw. Playable for Profar. And there's one away.
What was so amazing about that throw was how on line it was. When you think about how far away Joey Gallo is, there's a jump. That's a pretty good one. Mike Trout ended up rounding second. Joey gets behind the ball, and look at this throw. Yeah, bounced a couple of times, but it was right on the mark. Look at this thing. 2-hopper right on line to Jurickson Profar. He's, how far is he right there? 215 feet?
Probably. Range anyway. Well, that's a big out. And the fact that they're able to keep Trout at first base now.
That's big. That was big.
Because now maybe you can get Johnson to hit one on the infield and get that double play. Ground ball, second base. Odor to second one. The relay. In time. No! Couldn't get him. And Johnson was getting down the line in a hurry. The ball not hit real hard.
That was really, really close, and the lack of solid contact is what allowed Johnson to probably beat this out. You see there's about 4 hops. Good job by Lugnet, Odor, and Elvis Andrews to try to make that happen. Great attempt at the stretch as well. Watch how quickly they both get rid of the ball with good, strong throws. You'll see Johnson out of the box. He just does barely beat that.
So the Angels stay alive in the 10th inning. Jeffrey Marte been on 3 times tonight. And he bounces this one to the hole, shortstop. Andrews will go the short way to second, and they force out Johnson to end the inning. So Leclerc gets the 0. And out of the 11th inning, Nomar Mazara will lead things off. Jurickson Profar to follow. And Joey Gallo will get his hacks in a tie game.
So we are tied here in the top of the 11th, and we're going to get you a little StatCast information, and it is going to confirm what everybody thought, which is I'm really good at guessing. So how far was this throw? I said, I don't know. What do you think, about 215? Sorry, it was 217 feet, but more impressive, the accuracy and the velocity, 95 miles an hour there from Joey Gallo. Look at that thing, 2-hopper right on the mark. I mean, that would have went over the bag. I think you'd give him 10 throws in that spot. Maybe 1 or 2 go right over the bag. It's a nice throw in a nice spot and a really nice guess.
Yeah, really nice guess. So now the 11th inning. Tied at 4. Now these rosters pretty deep on both sides. This will be a fun test of wits, though, to see who can manage all of these bodies best. Taylor Cole has come on for this 11th inning.
17th game of the season. He has thrown the ball very well so far here for the Angels. Good ERA, really nice opponent's batting average. Fastball, cutter, slider change for Cole. It's a fastball that is averaging 93 miles an hour so far this season. Cutter at 92, the slider at 86, and that changeup at 87.
Misses outside to Nomar Mazara.
So he's a good example of a guy we talked about, that there's only 2 lefties in the bullpen for Mike Sosa's club, but Taylor Cole just a 161 batting average against lefties this year.
Bouncer right side of the infield. And Johnson throws out Nomar, 1 away. Cole is just the 4th reliever used tonight by Mike Scioscia. You think about playing the Angels and matching up against Scioscia, you think of him using a lot of different arms out of the bullpen. I think it's one of those things about him. He just seems to grind away every late inning situation, and sometimes to the aggravation of opposing fan bases. But today, he got 7 innings out of his starter, Felix Pena. That made a big difference. Pena, 6 strikeouts in his 7 innings, allowed 3 runs on 5 hits. But then it's been Alvarez, Buttrey, Robles, and now Cole. And Buttrey, who had been so good, is the guy who gave up the tying run in the 9th. Well, the Rangers 2 out and nobody on in the 9th inning. They had a double off the bat of Ronald Guzman. DeShields went in to pinch run for him. Andrews came in to pinch hit for Kiner Falefa and singled to left field to tie it. High strike call, and it is 1-2 on Profar. Good shift on the infield for the Angels. Profar swings and misses at strike 3. That one hops away, but they will throw him out regardless. 2 away. And here comes Joey Gallo. Gallo 0 for 4. That takes a strike. Well, the A's finished their victory over the Mariners and now celebrate having clinched their spot in the postseason. 95 wins for Oakland, the most since 2013 for them. Oakland A's are 33 games over 500. One and 2 the count on Gallo. Now the A's had technically already clinched their playoff spot after the Rays had lost earlier several hours ago. They had to finish their game before they could start spilling that champagne.
Well, it's always fun when you win that one anyway. It's awkward when you don't.
Yeah.
I know we'll celebrate it just about anything, but celebrating after a loss because another team lost and you clinch, it's weird.
Yeah, I agree. Two balls, 2 strikes on Joey. There's a full count. Zara grounded out. Profar struck out. A full count on Gallo. He hammers that one. Look out down in those seats. My goodness, that got up there in a hurry. Whew.
And luckily it hit an empty seat. And now everybody over there is awake.
Well,
a little extra heartbeat.
114 miles an hour off the bat.
Put that thing to center field with about a 32-degree launch angle.
Yeah, that would work. The payoff pitch. Ooh, strike 3 called, and Gallo not happy at all. And Jerry Davis having some words.
He's got a legitimate argument. That's frustrating for Joey Gallo.
Jerry Davis gave him a warning. Did not throw him. All right, that's going to be an equipment fine for Joey Gallo. Don Wakamatsu got out there quickly to make sure nothing more than that. Inning over.
Well, you'll understand the frustration here. It's an 88-mile-an-hour slider that they're trying to throw back door, but it's got to cross the plate at some point. And that one never did.
Eleventh inning, 4-4. The Rangers bring on Matt Moore.
For the left-hander, game number 36 now for him. You see that ERA, a lot of that damage came when Matt Moore was in the starting rotation. It's turned a little bit better here for the Rangers coming out of the bullpen, and that has been his role. And now for Matt Moore, he's got a big role because he's got to be able to hold the Angels here for an extra innings. He's facing a favorable part of the order, so Garcia, Hermosillo, and Cowart all do this inning. We're going to pinch hitter.
Yeah, Briseño will pinch hit here for Arcia. And he fouls the first pitch straight back. Or strike 1. So as we mentioned, both teams with plenty of personnel on which to call, and Briseño had a big pinch hit yesterday in the 6th inning. His 4th homer of the year. It was his first ever pinch hit home run. Now this is his 2nd stint in the big leagues with the Angels this year. He was called up for September. This ball well. Out to the left of center field. Back to the wall is Gallo. It's gone. And Briseño, on back-to-back days and back-to-back pinch hitting appearances, has hit home runs. This one gives the Angels the win in extras. 5-4, the final score in 11 innings. Wow.
Did it on an 0-2 pitch here from Matt Moore. It's so difficult to pinch hit in general, but to be able to drive the ball out of the ballpark on back-to-back nights. Here comes that 0-2 pitch. It wasn't a terrible one. You see how far off the plate it is. It was out of the strike zone. He just barely gets it out of here. That's a pretty incredible at-bat. Jose Briseño.
Well, that is some way to start this series. 11 innings tonight. And Briseño with a walk-off pinch hit home run. 5-4 the final score. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, Darren Oliver staying up late to bring you all the breakdown of this one. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond. Thank you so much for staying with us tonight. Stay tuned. Still more coverage of Rangers baseball coming up right after this.